everyone, Brittany here of Purslane Gardens, and today is December 17th and it's in the high 50s here. So I'm out in the garden working, and I just wanted to show you what I'm working on, what the garden is up to, and yeah, it's a great day to be in the garden. Last weekend we had our first snowstorm of the year. We got 14 inches of snow, which is a lot for where we are. But the snow is all melted and it's flattened down a lot of the stuff. So I'm out here getting some stuff done. So let's look around and I'll show you what I'm up to today. Okay, so the food cooperative I work at, in my produce department, we have a zero waste policy, which means that all of the fruit and vegetable scraps do not go to landfills. Either other farmers come and pick them up, or I bring them home and I add them to my compost bin. And I'm just so happy and proud that we create no waste in our department and we can prevent all of this beautiful material from going to landfills. So that was my first task today, working on my compost pile. Here in a few weeks I'm gonna have to turn it into this next bin, and then the last bin here was from the beginning of summer. It's pretty much, there's not much left, so I do need to top one of my garden beds with this. Okay, I planted some little pansies in the tires just to give ourselves a little bit of color and beauty this winter. We also got another pile of wood chips dropped off along the driveway here. I finally sheet mulched the area where I'll be planting mint next year. I meant to do this last year, but it never happened. So that will be my mint bed next to the driveway, so if it spreads, it won't be able to get into my main garden area. Okay, so one of today's projects is finally doing my winter garden cleanup. So I'm just I'm cutting with hand snippers the tops of these plants off, so I leave the roots down in the ground to break down and rot. Putting in a wheelbarrow, and I'm bringing all of it to the fence line here. You can see that I've recently added pathways going through the garden, so I'm not having to hop over all of the beds. Okay, so I started this project earlier in the week. I'm just piling all this organic matter up along the fence line here, because this is where our gopher friend has been getting into the garden. And then once I have a good stack of organic matter, I'm going to put rocks on top of it, and hopefully that will create a legitimate border. Another exciting thing is here in the gutters, I did plant a few of my strawberry babies, and then in the spring we're going to be planting all of these gutters with strawberries, so we'll have more than enough strawberries next year. Yeah, so all I need to do a lot more garden cleanup here and here. I'm going to add another path coming down the center of the garden, and I need to finish the one on that side, so I'll have 3 paths where I can easily walk through the garden. Alright, let me get back to work. Okay, so I finished cleaning up garden number 1. And when I was clearing this bed where the trellis was, the trellis started to fall apart. So I just went ahead and removed it. I left a lot more debris on that bed for any insects that are trying to overwinter in the garden. And I found some little surprises as I was cleaning. I found lots of little self-seeded lettuces. Of course, I found lots of green onions that are still growing. Here's some more lettuce. Yeah, I'm happy to have one space all cleared up. Something I've been thinking about when I've been out here working is how drastically my garden slopes down this way. And I think I want to start, piling organic matter in that corner of the fence to help trap the nutrients as they flow out of my garden. Because otherwise I think they're probably just going down the driveway out into the street. And I don't really want to lose any of the good organic matter and nutrients my garden is creating. So I think that's my plan. Maybe I'll build a little tire wall along the corner here, and that way I can start to raise up the soil height here. I don't know if that's how that works, but I think that's what I'm gonna try. Okay, and then let me show. So I really got a lot of stuff piled on the inside of this fence. And it smells so nice. It's just like basil aromatherapy going on right now. Okay, but I'm happy about that. Now I think I can start to pile rocks on top of that. Let me show you from the other side of the fence. Okay, so you can see from this side of the fence, that's where I have like a little rock section. But the gap is filled. Maybe I'll pile some rocks up on this side of the fence as well. Over on the perennial side of the garden, if you remember in the summer, I had these like empty soil bags spread out all along these blueberries as mulch, and I've removed those, and we're going to start sheet mulching over here. That's why we have that mulch. So I need to go through and pick up all these bags. I've started to dig out this channel further, and I need to come up with a real plan. I think I want it to go like all the way across this row of shrubs and trees with like a little ditch going to each plant, so when it rains they'll get lots of water and we won't get water pooling by our house. Okay, then a little look inside the greenhouse. Banana tree died. Hopefully it comes up. I don't really have much in here right now. I have my Venus flytraps outside still. I'm just leaving them constantly in water, which is what it said to do online. And they're still alive even after like the really low temperatures and snow we got. I did plant a few things in the ground. I planted some chard and some onions. I haven't ever watered them, so I think it's pretty cool that they're growing. I have a bunch of transplants started inside that I'm going to be planting out in here. Next weekend we need to like try to like seal these gaps in between the panels on this side better, and then begin to silicone. Like we still need to try and like line up this last panel or like screw new holes and just do it that way. But we need to fill these gaps and then put silicone to help hopefully this hold some heat better at night, so we can start using this more as a growing space, because I'd like to plant this entire bed over here with all of the kales and lettuces I've started inside. You can tell it's warm in here because the skylight is venting, so it's just cool to see this into the winter and see how we'll be able to utilize this space more. I realized like with the sun where it is in the winter, like this entire wall isn't getting full sunlight, so it's something to definitely think about. Okay, I took a break to eat some lunch, so I figured I would show you what's going on inside while I'm inside. So I've started 3 trays of greens, and these are all from my own seed that I've saved. So this tray is just brassicas, and then I have lettuce and some cilantro and more lettuce. I'm trying to propagate succulents for the first time, so that's exciting. My beautiful aloe plants. I counted this morning, and I have like 22 little babies that all need a pot up. And then other things happening is my crazy seed chaos mess, but finally I did get little packets, so I'll be able to start selling seeds here soon. And these are all seeds from my own garden that I've saved. Here's my beans. I think we ended up growing like 5 pounds of dry beans this year. And there's still plenty of seed to be cleaned, and more down there as well. So seed saving is a year-round hobby for sure. Oh yeah, and here's our pitcher plant, Steve. We moved him inside for the winter, and he has one pitcher that looks pretty good still, left over from summer. A lot of the other ones have dried up and have already been cut off, but he does have about 4 little baby pitchers up near the basil plant that are growing. It's just been so fun having this type of carnivorous plant And as we get closer to spring, I'll be taking cuttings and doing some propagation of this plant. So I'll have some to spare. Okay, so I got the second garden area cleaned up. I created the second path going along there. And then I started working on my dewberry, tayberry, and loganberry. I don't know what order they're in. And I was like picking them up and training them, and I realized there were a whole bunch of pieces that were rooting. I went ahead and potted them up some more over here, and I'll show you kind of how I was trying to train them. This is my first time growing berries like this. So I've been trying to just like stretch them along these wires and up through the cattle panel. I ended up with quite a few little cuttings here. So I'm excited to see how the cuttings take, and I think I did an okay job trying to train these. We'll see. The whole time I was working on it, like the berries just kept on, like, felt like they were saying, we don't want to be contained, we want to be wild. So some of them on the other side of the fence definitely are just gonna go run free, and that is a-okay with me. I hope the cuttings I took take. I'm gonna give everybody a nice drink, and just so excited about my 2 pathways now, and just get around the garden so much easier. And this garden is clean. Well, clean by my standards. I'm happy with it. There's my fence protection, my Egyptian walking onions. Yeah, I'm a very happy gardener today. Okay, thank you guys for watching. That is the end of my day out in the garden. I just need to clean up and get all my tools put away, and I'm gonna go inside and bake some bread. So thank you for watching, and I hope in 2019 to be more regular with my video making, but we'll see what happens. See you guys later. Check out this beautiful mustard plant. Oh, she is gorgeous.